So sure enough, I'm a Remington guy, so I'm a 7 mag, full scope on it. And that was my deer gun. So a couple years, 1 year goes by, and Rick Rude hears all the hunt stories, me and Paul, the person talking about besides who wants to join the hunt police. Well, Rick doesn't have a gun. He's more of a fisherman. So Paul tells him, build a gun, build a 7 mag. All 3 of us down there in South Georgia, Ryan, Georgia, he's considered shooting 7 mag. Rick didn't know a damn thing about hunting. And anyway, I'm saying that I love Rick Rude to death. Rest in peace. But anyway, one time, all of us there, we were riding around on Mount Fulton because Rick Rude didn't have this yet. He would go on later to trade one of his Sea-Doo Wave Runners for the Steiner brothers for his school. That's how he got his later. But anyway, so we're riding down the road. There's another guy on another pole, and he's showing us different parts of the property. It's 2,000 acres, a lot of it's swampland. And showing us some areas that I did not know about. And so we're riding down the road, this little dirt road. Middle of nowhere. And here comes a damn sow, a female pig, spot right down the road towards us. The guy says, I didn't bring my gun, because I didn't think he was going to see anything. We just riding around the pole, but Rick had brought his gun. So the guy says, man, Rick, shoot that pig, shoot that pig. So Rick gets down, I'm sitting right beside him. He says, my phone, I got my hands over my ears. All of a sudden, Rick, he fires, click. Nothing happens. He ejects the shell. Takes aim. Pulls the trigger. Click. Nothing happens. Reloads. Takes aim. Fires. Click. Start firing. Okay, he shot 3 times. Got one more time. This barrel in the barrel. Pulls the trigger. Click. About that time, the pig was so close. She heard that click. Fired him and ran off the brush.
Come on, hurry up already. He climbs into the ring.
And the guy, Rick's gun was so dirty from a mud hole. He got in a couple of months earlier. And the guy said, man, the firing pin is so dirty. He's not hitting me on time.
Been acquired once more.
And it just sounds like a man on the ground.
Looks like the champ is going to retain.
And 7mm bullet.
Brings them down. And he continues to mount on the pressure. He's bringing a lot of intensity right now. No more loss between these superstars right now, really trying to prove who the better man truly is. He's positioning Atlanta for something here.
Smaller cartridge. Coming up. 7mm 8. Which is basically
he was elusive there.
And it's a whole different cartridge.
Taking a moment to let the crowd know how much he appreciates that.
He saw the 7mm. He didn't pay attention to the OP. So,
and now he's on the downside.
I said, you should
somehow has to get himself back in order again.
Those things were rattling around in there. You're lucky one of them didn't just go off. It would have struck the ground with them. You know, that was hunting Rick Rude.
Treating him like trash, adding insult to injury. You gotta wonder what he's thinking here, guys.
I don't know what he is thinking.
There's the guy. To talk about the wrestling business. I was talking to Scott Hall. I don't know. I gave a call up to see what he was doing. I talked for about 30 minutes. Check in, see how his boy Cody's doing. Man, you know, him, Scott Hall and Rick Rude have a whole lot of the same common ground as far as the business, so maybe some of their background. But Scott Hall, very, very savvy guy. He was breaking out some stuff that I had never heard about. And it's funny because everybody that goes down the road, kind of, you learn the same things, but you go about learning it a different way, or it goes in and sinks to a different level of 101, 201, 301. And Scott Hall has been around a long time, so he had some real interesting stories. I got to have him back on the show because I had a good time talking to him. We're just shooting a breeze. But anyway, that's a Rick Rude story for you real quick.
The best Rick Rude story I have is actually before I was ever in the business, I arm wrestled, and I was actually going for the Minnesota Championship, and this is when Rick Rude had the big hair at the time. I really didn't know who he was, but the special guest referee was Jesse Ventura for that stuff, you know. And I came up there, of course, no one knew me, and everybody knew Rick. And Jeff just kind of looks at me and just kind of shakes his head and said, you ain't got a chance. And I was just a young kid. I don't know no better, man. I just, I worked hard. I'm a very good arm wrestler. And I went up there and I beat Rick Rude. And Jeff just kind of looked at me and said, who the hell are you, man? Down the road, I see Rick, I just asked him out of the blue. I said, Rick. I said, remember me? He kind of looks. He goes, yeah, a little bit. I said, remember an arm wrestling show in Minnesota that we were on and that stuff, state championship? He goes, yeah. I said, I was the one that beat you. I said, how about we go for paychecks? Because he was at the top of the time. Right. It was nice to get one of his paychecks. The best Rick Rude story I have.
Thoughts on Benoit being erased?
No, it's not Benoit's fault. Chris Nowinski, he proved that. It's not a steroid raid. He had CTE. He wasn't in control of it. For doing that flying headbutt day after day, week after week, you can't hold Chris Benoit accountable for that. There's a condition, and football players have it.
Because I would just like to sit down and ask him, why did you hate me? Obviously, 2 years in the business, I'm going to suck.
Say something that'll make you feel better. He treated me the same exact way.
He treated me the same exact way, too.
It was just as simple as that. When he took the agent role, the producer role, whatever they call it these days, I can do it better than him. But you're supposed to teach us how to do it as good as you can do it. He would say, it's you and Val tonight, 8 minutes. I said the one time, who's going over? And he went,
Well, I always thought some of his ire came from just his lack of height, Napoleon complex or something.
He'd be like all gung-ho for the guys his height, right?
I still remember at the airport, him checking into a flight. The ticketing agent asked him if he had anything sharp in his bag. And he said, well, I have a shirt in there people think I look pretty sharp in. Womp, womp, womp. Because I would just like to sit down and ask him, why did you hate me? Obviously, 2 years.
We do plan on expanding to hoodies and pants and shorts. If you guys want to start your own merch line or clothing brand, Tap Stitch is definitely the way to go. Super easy to work with, and the quality is incredible. It's just see for yourself. Don't let Tap Stitch slip away. Don't do it. We do plan on expanding to hoodies and pants and shorts.
I wrestled so many old and newer, at that time, superstars. My first match was with Wahoo McDaniels, and I got to live in just beat that shit out of me. And he sprained my ankle really, really bad with the spinning toe because I couldn't speak Carney. Nobody taught me Carney at that point. He's talking to me in the ring, and I have not a clue of what he's saying. He got me in the turnbuckle, and he looked at me because he was pissed. He was like, boy, if I was you, I'd blow all my hair out. And I looked at him, and again, like a dumbass, I went, huh? He didn't just do this. He did the spin. And instead of a side chop, he came down with a hammer. He hit me so hard in the center of my chest that it knocked the air out of me. And I was like, kicked me in my liver so fucking hard. It flipped me over onto my back. And I saw him later on in the back, and he gave me an earful, man. Went in unprepared, in his opinion. I should have known Carney. I wrestled so many old and newer, at that time, superstars. My first match was with Wahoo McDaniels, and I got to live in just beat that shit out of me. And he sprained my ankle really, really bad with the spinning toe because I couldn't speak Carney. Nobody taught me Carney at that point. He's talking to me in the ring, and I have not a clue of what he's saying. He got me in the turnbuckle, and he looked at me because he was pissed. He was like, boy, if I was you, I'd blow all my hair out. And I looked at him, and again, like a dumbass, I went, huh? He didn't just do this. He did the spin. And instead of a...
So Muhammad Hassan debuted. That Mike Awesome. You must have been around him in HWA. How was he with you?
Great guy. Like, again, nicest guy on earth.
Right.
But he was a big teddy bear. Another guy who I don't know for sure. He looked like he was a guy you didn't want to piss off.
When he passed away, one of the higher ups, I'm not going to mention his name, but you don't get much more closer to Vince than him, was cracking jokes about it. Like, glad he's dead. So not only do they just use you up and spit you out, they'll make fun of you once you kick the can, too.
I'm a firm believer. Remember when I was talking about the questions I want to ask God?
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer there's a special spot in hell for people like that.
Right.
Right next to Hitler. Like, and it's just going to have a sign above the door that just says heads.
Get spot about.
Yeah, you're in the head room. Kids.
Mike Awesome. You must have been around him in 8.
Testorup is a scam. I only made 81.
So if anybody wants to see something funny, find that clip, because when he applies that, that's the first time he does it. It's 1,000% a shoot. I am choking. I am turning purple. You'll see me reaching in there to try to create some space. It's all 1,000% shoot. They even used an image of that, like on one of our international tour flyers. You know what I mean? You can see me like dying right there. But so that's my only memory of that match, was him applying that. You know, Cena would get very into the moment, I think. It wasn't that he was trying to stick people. I just think he'd be so into it, he didn't even realize it. And so I think he even did it like that to Kurt Angle a couple times, and Kurt, somehow he got smartened up, you know, just pantomiming it a little bit more. You know, you don't have to, like, you know, really wrench it to display the intensity. See me sticking my fingers right? That's literally to create this, because I'm choking. I am dying right here. Like, I can't even handle another 2 seconds of this. I think Cena was feeling a lot of pressure too, you know what I mean? So if anybody wants to see something funny, find that clip, because when he applies that, that's the first time he does it. It's 1,000% a shoot. I am choking. I am turning purple. You'll see me reaching in there to try to create some space. It's all 1,000% shoot. They even used an image of that, like on one of our international tour flyers. You know what I mean? You can see me like dying right there. But so that's my only memory of that match, was him applying that. You know, Cena would get very into the moment, I think. It wasn't that he was trying to stick people. I just think he'd be so into it, he didn't even realize it. And so I think he even did it like that to Kurt Angle a couple times, and Kurt, somehow he got smartened up, you know, just pantomiming it a little bit more. You know, you don't have to, like, you know, really wrench it to display the intensity. See me sticking my fingers right? That's literally to create some... I'm going to kill these guys. I'm going to finish. I'm going to... You son of a... Batista, and you see him.
So,
Little gasket. I'm going to kill these guys. I'm going to finish. I'm going to... You son of a... Batista, and you see him.
so,
Little gasket there.
but the next day, Vince showed the TV, but he was wearing, like, remember Forrest Gump, the movie Forrest Gump with Tom Hanks? Remember Tiny Forrest when you had the leg braces you had to walk with? That's what he was wearing. Like, he was talking with Christy Hemme, and I remember just, like, looking over and, like, damn, that looks painful, like, the face of me, and he just, like, man, you can't, if you're injured, you can't sell in front of him, and if he's injured, don't sell for him.
He's feuding with the stubble on his chin when he's shaving in the morning. Or he's mad at himself when he sneezes. Oh, man.
Total different mentality.
I'm going to kill these guys. I'm going to finish.
Yeah, I have.
No, but Mike Bucci.
I'll tell you the one storyline that they had gold with, and I have no idea why they didn't run it. Remember Sean O'Hare? Remember his vignettes? I'm not telling you something you don't already know. That's gold.
Yeah.
How they didn't run. And Sean could work. Sean was Jindrak.
But the thing is, he liked to get in trouble.
Well, he was a legit tough guy. I went out with him on his birthday one night. Yeah, that mother. I mean, he had a mean streak to him. As nice as he was. Like, I'm never looking for a fight when I go out. He was. If you would have told me in 2004 this guy's going to take his own life one day, I would have been like, no way in hell. It's just like you never know what's going on in someone's life. Like, I remember looking at Sean, I don't want to say envious, but just being kind of like having little brother syndrome. Being like, this guy's so cool. He's a big, good-looking, tough guy. Like, that's everything I want to be. I'll tell you the one storyline that they had gold with, and I have no idea why they didn't run it. Remember Sean O'Hare? Remember his vignettes? I'm not telling you something you don't already know. That's gold.
Yeah.
How they didn't run. And Sean could work. Sean was Jindrak.
But the thing is, he liked to get in trouble.
Well, he was a legit tough guy. I went out with him on his birthday one night. Yeah, that mother. I mean, he had a mean streak to him. As nice as he was, like, I'm never looking for a fight when I go out. He was. If you would have told me in 2004 this guy's going to take his own life one day, I would have been like, no way in hell.
Let's find out what streak.
When my daughter thoughts on that Paul uninspired Royal Rumble.
A12. Me.
Superstar. The crowd.
I basically had the unfortunate cast to hang with Jeff Hardy, which I always told Jeff I will never do it again. That man beat me before the ladder was moved, and I'm screaming at him, if you ever loved me, you would stop kicking me. The ladder is not moved. Edge is screaming up top. He goes, what's going on? I go, who the goddamn ladder? I said, he's trying to kill me. Who the ladder? It was like Apollo's. What you told Robbie?
Is there any chance of you showing up at the ring to talk about our Royal Rumble spot?
Yeah.
News was WCW's resident super heavyweight hip-hop hero in the early 90s. But when Cash ruled everything around him, Mama told Rick Rude to knock him out. This is a WCW cut. On a December 1991 tour of England, money went missing for many WCW wrestlers' wallets. Rude took it upon himself to stand up for the Hall of Honor as he walked up to News at a hotel bar and knocked him out with one opening and slap. News has never denied being knocked out. They claimed it was because he got drunk and talked some trash after losing an arm wrestling match to Rude. Nonetheless, that one slap was so brutal that they had to run the next TV taping with Mr. Hughes to explain News's bruised and swollen face.
Here we go, gentlemen. Huge
WCW's
title match coming up.
super
And a huge opportunity.
One, you ever got too home?
Everything in my head, I don't want shoulder.
Why do you still post?
Yeah, now.
Does your man Lead Stink, our brand new song?
If you're OCD, I'm about to put you on. How does this not stress you out? Like, this is so tacky. Get rid of this. I'm tired of 2025. How do we not all have this charger? What you do is just plug it in.
Harlem, New York, weighing in at 200.
Has the Type-C and the lightning cable for all the old phones. It's retractable. Like, what? And then this is not even the best part. Look, you press this button, and now you have freaking Starry Night Roll. All of this is coming from this charger. You tired of the lights, you just turn it off. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's the best part. And it smells so good. You know, but they give you an extra 3 oils. Pull this part out right here, and then this is where you fill in the oil. And this thing smells so freaking good. And the crazy part about this, it's on the TikTok shop for $20. Now I'm tight because I paid $40. But it's definitely gonna sell out because of this feature right here. I'm telling you now. So I'm gonna drop the link where you can get yours. Do not miss out.
To prove to everyone that there truly is none better in all of WWE right now.
Also working for Young Rick in Charlotte.
Oh my God.
Back in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Did anything stick out to you about this? It was really, Rick is really green at the time before the whole rabbit.
You know, one thing that really sticks out, that's kind of X-rated a little bit, but I used to do that backwards suplex before I started using figure 4. So that was my finish. Backwards suplex and then drop the elbow. So I guess according to Rick, he told me this 4 or 5 years later. So, and he was green.
Elimination tag match set to begin.
Suplexed it backwards and almost lost. So that's kind of a dangerous suplex. But he had his head tucked in. Tucked in. But I busted his nut. X-rated, I mean X-rated because I ruptured his left nut. Yeah, I did it. He had to go home and get it fixed. And he told me about it years later. Yeah, I did the same thing to Mark, but it wasn't suplex. It was like I hated doing this running back and forth and you're doing leapfrog. That was fine. Not to make it look too obvious. And one time, I don't know, Stu Hart said I didn't go down deep enough, so I clipped his left nut too. But what was really unfortunate for him, he
he lost his left nut because of it. Wow, I've never seen Steve Zarnavi. He was in bad shape, and he was in a wheelchair and everything. He goes, you busted Owens tonight. I go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And Owens passed away. So it's that. So I guess I was a nut buster for share that video. Yeah, the nut buster, yeah. But, both of those were accidents. And Rick Rude, he's no longer with us either, but he was okay after he's told the story about it. Of course, told me about it. This is more severe. I'm sorry.
And then, yeah, you later worked with both of them.
Yeah. We did a lot of, I don't think I worked with any single matches, but tag matches.
I know you have a lot of respect and go way back with the Hart family, for years.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Brett's a good friend of mine. And I'll never forget those years of training in the dungeon in the early 70s. And a lot of people say, what does Stu show you? He really didn't show me anything. He showed me how to relax. I kept hooking up, and he'd show me how to fall. He didn't show me the nice stuff that he picked up. I learned how to fall backwards. Basic stuff, which is really good stuff to learn. Hip toss and slams, and that all came later. I worked out a few times in a gym away from Stu's dungeon. But I got a real bad, I don't know if I told you this story, but I got a real bad cane syndrome. I've got fungus in my feet because I had no wrestling. They finally found me, so had sent me up there with no wrestling moves. And it was how you can get it when you get there. And I got some kind of impetigo, that's it. I got impetigo on my feet, and I couldn't even walk. And I had to go to the emergency room, and they scraped my feet, and they bandaged my feet all up, and then Stu always said, that you had rotten feet. Well, this thing had a rotten patty down there, and he never cleaned it off. And I got impetigo. I couldn't even walk from this really bad.
Sweat.
I was right there in the Calgarian hotel there. That bad hotel. It was boring. Back to New York. Three channels, TV, next thing Calgary, and then you had a couple of French ones.
When life calls for more, Mazda answers. With more adventure, more comfort, more grip, and confidence. The Mazda CX-5 and CX-50. Need we say more? See how much more you get at Mazda today.
Take advantage of these exceptions offers and avoid significant sales issues.
I was shaking my head in disbelief over how he managed to get the shoulder up. And a well-executed move we just saw there. Just one right after the other. He may get the 3 count right here. This is it. Cover. 2. And a kick out at 2. How this match is still going on defies all reasoning.
I got fine. It was me and Beefcake. We're wrestling Bulldogs. And I believe they already won the titles from us. This was a rematch of Washington, D.C. Got like a 7 o'clock flight. It was called Nurses Craig. Just change the flight, there's one. 11 o'clock plenty of time. That being said, we get to the airport and there's thunderstorms in DC, big time. All line of thunderstorms all around DC. We finally landed. It was like 7 o'clock. And we're at some airport there. Used to be WI or something. We had to go all the way to the Capitol Center. And we're racing like hell. And it might have been before cell phones. Where I could have told TJ Strong was the agent. And we were good buddies. But we get there, we run in there, and we're looking, I could see the ring, I could see that the Bulldogs were all be out there, and they had Don Malcolm, Cowboy Bob Orton, and Chief goes into the ring. So, sorry, I got a big time fine, $3,000 was my fine. Probably my payout wouldn't have been that good, maybe $2. I don't do it $3 grand, you know. And I could, in the 80s, that's a lot of money. Holy shit, $3,000. And that was Beefcake's fault. I would have taken really short. I never did it again, and the only one time I screwed up, they'd give you a pile of tickets, and I looked at the tickets, and it was East Coast. All for 3 days. Taking a call after the day. Hey, Greg, disregard those tickets. You could just pick up new tickets. We're going to fly you to California, and you're going to learn San Francisco, LA, and that. And I love it. Okay, awesome. Now I'm asleep, right? I go back to sleep, and then I forgot all about the phone call. They didn't send me the tickets because they were at roll call at the airport. And I got on the plane and went to Boston instead. And I was so but they let me work anyway, but got messed up. You know, see, I was still advertised in Boston, but they had a switch on, somebody got sick. So I couldn't get in California. I didn't get they understood. I was so tired. I completely forgot that phone call. And I'd much rather go to California than that Boston. Never liked Boston because the fans are mean in Boston. Mean.
So like that, the whole, like, really the northeast area?
In New York, they're okay. You know, Worcester, Mass, bad. They'd throw crap on you and stuff. And they had a balcony, and you had to walk underneath the balcony, and they'd throw trash cans, fire extinguisher, everything. And they tried to kill you. Just mean people. And in Worcester, Mass, and there was another little Mass. Oh my God. Couldn't hardly get a badge done there. So the people, I figured out, the people in Boston, and speaking of Boston, I get that because Boston, they had like this library, and it was elevated because of the Kansas City right there. Blackjack Ocean, now it's all starting to thin. Almost and the shooting star years later. Very bad. Boston's a beautiful city, great restaurants. People are bad out there because I think of the weather. New York, they're fine. Hartford, they're fine. Worcester, anything near Boston, these people are mean.
We always expect the unexpected in Falls County Newer matches, and that's what we got here, guys.
3 months of summer. And that summer's not that good anyway. They have no beaches. I went to Revere Beach. Used to stay at Vermont. There was a beach right behind. It was so sunny. And I went out. There was all logs on the beach. Man, this would suck. But they, that was a connection with Malibu, all that. 9 months of misery in the cold weather and stuff. Yeah. But New Yorkers are, they can